Good morning. Welcome to Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace. Welcome to the soul of Sunday. We are Unitarian Universalists. Ours is a historic faith with a progressive theology. We affirm the worth and dignity of every being, and that we are all deeply interconnected. We are bound to one another not by creed, but by covenant. And we are called to answer the call of love with open minds, open hearts, and open hands. Whoever you are, those of all nations, all creeds, all colors, all kinds of love, you are welcome here. As we gather, we acknowledge that Arlington Street Church occupies the ancestral homeland of the Massachusetts. By making this land acknowledgement, we recognize, honor, and affirm the sovereignty of all First Nations peoples.
Seek not afar for beauty, lo, it glows in dew-wet grasses all about thy feet, in birds in sunshine, childish faces sweet, in stars and mountains softly soft with snows. Good not afar for happiness behold, it is a flower blooming at thy door. Bring love and justice home and evermore. Joy shall be yours as changing years unfold. In wonder workings awesome bush of flame, we look for love and fancy it concealed, but in earth's common things love stands revealed. While grass and flowers and stars spell out God's name.
Dear ones, welcome to our Zoomers and welcome to the congregation gathered in person. I want to say a very special welcome to our beloved tenor, Daniel Rosenzweig. Daniel, it's always wonderful to have you in the house. And some welcome homes. Welcome home to Fishy. Where are you, Fish? Just where you belong, Fishy. So great to see you. Gaby and George are down here in front. I love seeing you here. Alma and Gail, welcome, my loves. So great to see you just where you belong. I also want to say a very special welcome to my beloved family, my brother-in-law, Reven. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Welcome to my sister, Lisa, and my niece, Liz. So glad you've come. And pile of boys, where are you? Just stand up and show yourselves off. This is the pile of boys who produced Kem's and my very first wedding reception in 1999. So, boyfriends, you have already made my day. I also want to say happy 20th anniversary of equal marriage in the Commonwealth. Yeah. We had a huge, wonderful celebration here on Friday. I want to say so many thanks to Reverend Beth, Josh Chislak, and the Arlington Street staff and volunteers who worked with our co-conspirators at GLAD to make it happen. Thank you, Barbara Ginhart, Bill Briggs, Fran Peterson, Kellyanne Weaver, Kevin Terrell, Liz Texera, Queen Cheryl, and Wendy Gallo. You were wonderful ambassadors, as always. Thank you, friends. And would those of you who were married here 20 years ago tomorrow join Kem and me in just giving a wave? Yes, there we are. Thank you, friends. Woo! Happy anniversary, beloveds. I have great good news. In case you missed it in Snapshot, the Ministerial Search Committee is completing its work. The final I's are being dotted, T's are being crossed, and we have just a little longer to wait for our incoming transitional senior minister to be introduced to you. They need to tell their congregation they're leaving and that they're coming here. So we're going to just mum's the word for another week or two, and a great surprise is coming on June 2nd. So many thanks to our search committee. Search committee, just stand for a minute. We love you so much. Thank you. Alan, Connie, Sandy, Tom, thank you, friends. So I know you've also been waiting to hear the grand total of our May 4th Spring Gala fundraiser. This number will mean even more to you when you know that the number in the budget, the number we needed to hit to make this year's budget was $35,000. It sounds like a lot of money, right? Liz is still getting donations, but right now, drum roll, we're at $102,000. So thank you again to our gala planning team, our volunteers, all of you who donated and came and made it a huge, fabulous success, obviously, in every way. Thank you, friends. Reverend Beth, in person and in the Zoom room this morning. Reverend Beth is personally hybrid. I want to say thank you to Mark David Buckles, our director of music. Thanks to our professional musicians. Happy birthday, Beck. Yeah. 25, so old. So old, so fabulous. Thank you to our volunteers, to the greeters and ushers, to the tech team, the live chat coffee hour team, and to the Arlington Street Choir. Thank you, friends. For those of you who are new to Arlington Street, I want to say a very special welcome to you. If you're here in person, there are welcome cards in the pew racks. Please hand yours to an usher or drop it in the basket at the great doors as you leave. If you're in the Zoom room this morning, good morning, friends. Please fill out a connection card. The link is in the chat. It includes the option to request the link to a recording of today's sermon. Since we can't greet all of you in person after the service, Reverend Beth and I would love to follow up with a virtual hello. Friends, whether you have been coming here for years or today is your very first time at Arlington Street, welcome home.
Good morning. If you're here in person, there are printed copies of the order of service available from the ushers at the great doors. If you're zooming in, the order of service will be available in the chat, or you can download it on the homepage at ascboston.org. As we begin our greetings, I invite the Zoomers and those in person with a device handy to please say hello in the chat and tell us where you're zooming in from today. And now, Keith is going to turn the camera on the in-person congregation as we wave at each other as well as at our friends in the Zoom room. And you all in the Zoom room can wave and smile back. Hello, friends. Let's all engage that Arlington Street spirit of welcome that transcends physical distance as we greet one another heart to heart.
Thanks, Rebecca. Good morning, everyone. Our opening hymn is an oldie but a goodie. It's from the 16th century by Michael Pretorius. The original is Jubilate Deo, rejoice in God, but it's also sometimes done as Jubilate Gaia, rejoice in the earth, which I think is great for springtime. And for you linguist lovers, you'll notice that we get to mix both Latin and Greek, which is a little fun. The words are printed in the order of service and available in the chat, but I'm also going to teach this one to you real quick. But why don't we rise in body, rise in spirit? This one's a little easier to sing on your feet. Can we get the key, Yulia? So, it goes like this. I'll sing the whole thing. Jubilate Gaia, Jubilate Gaia, Alleluia. I'm going to break that down for you real quick. Here's the first half of it. Jubilate Gaia, Jubilate Gaia. Try that with me. Ready and sing. Jubilate Gaia, Jubilate Gaia. And then just ends Alleluia. Try that. Alleluia. And to make it even more fun, it's a round, which can be up to 6-part round. We're going to do 5 parts with the choir. You can sing any one of those parts. It's impossible to get lost because you can just come in at any measure and it works fine. We're going to do it twice in unison all together, so we get it in our ear, and then we're going to break into a round. Feel free to join with whatever feels good, or just add some other harmony because that's fine too. Here we go together, Jubilate Gaia. Ready and sing. Jubilate Gaia, Jubilate Gaia, Alleluia. Jubilate Gaia, Jubilate Gaia, Alleluia.
Jubilate Gaia, Jubilate Gaia, Alleluia.
It is now time for our treasured ritual of sharing community candles of sorrow and joy. These candles were submitted on our website by the Friday evening deadline. If you didn't submit your candle and have a joy or a sorrow to share this morning, please wait until the third candle is lit, the silent candle, and then type your joy or sorrow in the chat. Zoomers are invited to light silent candles at home. Those in the sanctuary are invited to light a silent candle at the table up front to the right of this Gleason podium. In addition to sharing our sorrows and joys this morning, let's reach out to one another in the week ahead, staying connected. May these times remind us of how very precious this beloved community is. We need one another. Whether together or apart, may we stay very close. And now, in the spirit of invocation, let's join in singing Sanctuary. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat.
Some of us come today with heavy hearts. We open our hearts to you.
A candle of sorrow from Maureen Coughlin. While playing table tennis in our clubhouse, our friend Nancy fell. She developed a brain bleed and had surgery which was considered successful, but a new bleed started and a second brain surgery performed. She is in the ICU. Your prayers and positive energy, please, for Nancy and her wife, Becky. Thank you. A final candle of concern and prayer from Tammy and Zoe Arcori for Mario, a 2-year-old receiving care at a Boston clinic. May Mario receive the strength his body needs to have treatment on Tuesday. May he feel the love of his family and community beside him, and may he be blessed with prayers of healing and energy to comfort him.
And some of us come today in joy. We share your joy.
A single candle of joy from Sarah Boyer. After 9 years of interviewing, research, and writing, I finished the book Coming Out, Becoming Ourselves, Lesbian Stories from the Boston Daughters of Bilitis, 1969 to 1999. With the help of Laura Catanzaro, the History Project, and all those who told their stories of courage, perseverance, and love. We dedicate this book to the memory of Lois Johnson and Sherry Garden, who supported the hundreds of women who crossed their path in the Boston Daughters of Bilitis, and to those lesbians then and now who lift our struggle toward a lasting freedom.
For all the sorrows and all the joys we hold in our hearts, we light a silent candle to remember and to rejoice. May the peace of this sanctuary enter into our hearts as we share a quiet moment together, breathing our prayers for ourselves, for one another, and for the world.
Let's join now in saying together the affirmation and covenant of this beloved spiritual community. The words are printed in your order of service and in the chat. Love is the spirit of this congregation, and service is our gift. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to speak our truths in love, and to help one another. El amor es el espíritu de nuestra congregación, y el servicio es nuestro regalo. Esto es a lo que nos comprometemos, con vivir en paz, hablar nuestras verdades con amor, y ayudarnos los unos a los otros. Our next hymn is number 16, Simple Gifts. The words can be found in the gray hymnal, your order of service, and in the chat. We'll sing it twice through. Let's rise in body, rise in spirit, and sing together number 16, Simple Gifts.
"14 years ago, American Jesuit priest Greg Boyle released Tattoos on the Heart, a memoir of his transformative work in East Los Angeles. His nonprofit organization, Homeboy Industries, is the largest and most successful gang rehabilitation and reentry program in the world. Kem gave it to me, and I could not put it down. Father Greg, who devotes an entire chapter of the book to delight, introduced me to the phrase, the duty of delight, an admonition to take seriously our job description as human beings, to be watchful for the hilarious and heartwarming, the silly and the sublime. He says there is a duty to be mindful of that which delights, and to keep joy at the center, distilled from all that happens to us in a day, to train our hearts to choose joy. More recently, I have been making my way through Catholic activist Dorothy Day's memoir, a compilation of her journal entries, 693 pages of little tiny print from 1934 to 1980, when she died at the age of 83. A suffragist, anti-war activist, and founder of the Catholic worker movement, she dedicated her life to alleviating poverty in New York City. The Vatican is currently considering her for sainthood. Her memoir is called The Duty of Delight. Here's just a taste. This entry is from July 9th, 1951. This diary could start with the chronicling of aches and pains, rheumatism, back pain, etc., every day. It could also go on to list work done, and that would give satisfaction. So many hours at the center, talking to visitors, odds and ends of housework, caring for the children, so much that does not show, that does not give one a sense of things accomplished. But today, we have a picnic in the wood. The air is sweet with milkweed in bloom. The honeysuckle is past, the sweet clover goes on all summer. The duty of delight. I love this juxtaposition of the everyday, the drudgery, with the playful, the sensual. Across more than half a century, Dorothy Day is insisting on both, on making room for both, on making room for it all. Father Thomas Merton, the Trappist monk and author, wrote, "No despair of ours can alter the reality of things or stain the joy of the cosmic dance, which is always there. There is delight, and delight is our duty." It just keeps coming up. This past Monday, in our Zoom gathering, sharing poems to go on, Connie Scanlon invoked the phrase, the duty of delight, and took us back to its source. Born in 1819, John Ruskin was an English writer, philosopher, and art critic. Critical of the Victorian Christians of his time, he wrote that they, quote, dwell only on the duty of self-denial, but exhibit not the duty of delight. Father Greg Boyle, Dorothy Day, our Connie, I'll take it as a sign. Here we go. There is no denying that humanity and the forces of nature offer up an endless parade of misery. None of us is a stranger to it. Some of you know it intimately. And then there is the suffering of those unknown to us, but playing out on our screens in real time. I think I'm remembering correctly that years ago, my beloved colleague, Reverend Carl Scoville, who served King's Chapel on Boston's Beacon Hill for 32 years, said he didn't believe we were evolved enough as a species to metabolize the news from much beyond a city block or two. In this spirit, many of you have stopped engaging with the news, finding it life-denying and paralyzing. Keeping our hearts open can feel dangerous. But the world is also filled with beauty and tenderness. It is also delightful. And here is the spiritual practice. We are called to hold both realities, the terror and the beauty. American writer F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote, "The test of a first-rate intelligence is the ability to hold two opposing ideas in mind at the same time and still retain the ability to function. We are called to hold it all. American author and educator Parker Palmer writes, "During these dark days, it's easy to get stuck in despair as we watch so much that we love degraded or destroyed. For those of us who find ourselves in despair more than we'd like and can't find much to delight in, here are some questions worth pondering. Are we not trying to protect things that bring us delight? From the natural world to the dignity of all people to life-giving virtues like life, truth, and justice, all of which are under attack? Is it not true that the courage we need to fight for what's right is more likely to come from the energy of delight than from the paralysis of despair? And might we find more courage to defend what delights us if we refuse to let the powers that be rob us of our joy, leaving us disempowered by despair? This is an excerpt from American poet Jack Gilbert's A Brief for the Defense. Sorrow everywhere. Slaughter everywhere. If babies are not starving someplace, they are starving somewhere else. But we enjoy our lives because that's what God wants. Otherwise, the mornings before summer dawn would not be made so fair. The Bengal tiger would not be fashioned so miraculously well. The poor women at the fountain are laughing together between the suffering they have known and the awfulness in their future, smiling and laughing while someone in the village is very sick. There is laughter every day in the terrible streets of Calcutta. If we deny our happiness, resist our satisfaction, we lessen the importance of their deprivation. We must risk delight. We can do without pleasure, but not delight, not enjoyment. We must have the stubbornness to accept our gladness in the ruthless furnace of the world. To make injustice the only measure of our attention is to praise the devil. We must admit there will be music despite everything. In the spring of 1984, some of my classmates at Harvard Divinity School divided ourselves up into 3 groups and did 3 important things. Stuart Guernsey led the charge to found a shelter for unhoused people at the University Lutheran Church in Harvard Square. Peter Toms co-led the charge to found Friday Night Supper program here at Arlington Street. And I was on the leadership team working to end the use of nuclear weapons. That may sound quixotic, but 40 years ago, all 3 issues felt equally pressing. My group went off to Groton, Connecticut, and joined Christian students from Yale Divinity School to protest the launch of a Trident nuclear submarine. It was Good Friday. The Yale students set up Stations of the Cross down the chain-link fence surrounding the shipworks. It was spring. The Harvard students had brought trowels and seeds to plant in the large planter inside the main gate of the shipworks. Yale chained themselves to the fence. Harvard trespassed and began gardening. We were all arrested, and the news photos of young ministers, many of them in student collars, were fabulous. Jail was not fabulous, of course. I mean, we chatted up our jailers, played games, sang, we had a blast together. But the thought of having to stay was grim. All of us were supposed to be in our student pulpits on Easter Sunday. As it began to look like they were going to hold us over the weekend, a small wave of panic swept through. Stuart Guernsey, raised in the Deep South, had worked as a lawyer before coming to divinity school. He had accompanied us to serve as our legal counsel. Eventually, we could hear him pounding on the door of the jailhouse, just like in the movies, calling up, "Open up in the name of the law." And there was another sound that reached us. Dutch priest and theologian, Father Henry Nouwen, had come to the jailhouse to pray for us. We all knew him. He'd taught at Yale and then at Harvard, and we all adored him. And how did we know he was out there? He was singing, mesmerizing all of us, students and jailers alike. He sang over and over and over the song we all sang together this morning, but with the Christian words, Jubilate Deo, be joyful in God. Alleluia. A nuclear submarine at a cost in today's dollars of $122.3 billion had just been launched and was making its way out into the ocean, ostensibly to kill children and other living things, for whom that kind of investment could have changed the life of their generation. But Henry was singing. Stuart was finally admitted to the jailhouse and advocated for our release on our own recognizance. Henry was still singing when the jailhouse doors were indeed opened and we ran outside and into his arms. The duty of delight. There will be music despite everything. Sharon Eakes, author of Liberating Greatness, The Whole Brain Guide to Living an Extraordinary Life, writes, sometimes we feel guilty experiencing delight when there is so much misery in the world. What I know is that there is always delight, even for the sick, the grieving. And oh, those who have so little. In my travels in the developing world, I have borne witness to breathtaking delight. Instead of focusing on what's not working, what's unjust, what threatens us, we can add delight to our to-do lists, searching out, noticing, and sharing what lifts our hearts. And in this way, we can create some balance in our lives, the hard with the glorious. One definition of ideal mental health is having access to a full range of feelings. American poet Ross Gay wrote Catalog of Unabashed Gratitude. And then on his 42nd birthday, he adopted the practice of writing a mini essay each day about some delight in his world. The result was the Book of Delights. He describes the development of his delight radar and bulking up his delight muscle. I felt my life to be more full of delight, he writes, not without sorrow or fear or pain or loss, but more full of delight. I also learned that my delight grows, much like love and joy, when I share it. The fact that Ross Gay is a Black man living in America makes his attention to delight compelling, a directive. Sharon Eakes advises, start small to grow your delight muscle. Notice an antic of your cat, a sweet memory, a delicious meal, a note from a friend, a small interaction with a cashier, the beauty of a tree outside your window. Ross Gay writes, did I mention the hummingbird hovering there with its green gold breast shimmering, slipping its needle nose into the zinnia? Stay with delight for a few seconds. Let it settle inside you. Notice how a gratitude practice and a delight practice feed each other. Author Alan Cohen writes, "You will find truth more quickly through delight than gravity. Let out a little more string on your kite." I'm going to close with the final stanzas of the beautiful poem Connie Scanlon shared last Monday in Poems to Go On. Thank you, Connie. This is American poet Jean Lohman from What the Day Gives. In the frozen fields of my life, there are no shortcuts to spring, but stories of great birds in migration carrying small ones on their backs, predators flying next to warblers they would in a different season eat. Stunned by the astonishing mix in this uneasy world that plunges in a single day from despair to hope and back again, I commend my life to Ruskin's difficult duty of delight and to that most beautiful form of courage, to be happy. Beloved spiritual companions, let us cultivate the stubbornness to accept gladness in the ruthless furnace of the world. To make injustice the only measure of our attention is to praise the devil. May we watch for the heartwarming and hilarious, the silly and the sublime. We are called to hold it all. Let us train our hearts to choose joy. Amen.
Thank you, choir. Arlington Street is entirely self-sustaining. It's up to us. As you heard this morning, our generosity continues to be astounding. Thank you for your commitment to our staff, our building, and our beloved spiritual community. Each Sunday, we share our collection plate with a partner in our mission of love, service, justice, and peace. Today's beneficiary is Jeffrey Thompson and David Gennaro's friend, Cade, a little boy living with an ultra-rare genetic disorder. Our gifts will go to fund clinical trials at Boston Children's Hospital in the NIH. The gene therapy and development, while astronomically expensive, will eventually help with treatments for dementia, cancer, and heart disease. Your gift today will be matched. Thank you. At the school where I teach, the last period of the day is one where teachers have the flexibility to choose a class that they would like to teach that is project-based, and students get to choose the teacher and the class they would like to have. This cycle, I'm leading at Jam Studios, where students get the chance to explore the various music apps we have access to with their accounts and create their own songs. One of my students said that she writes her own music and that she wants to continue learning how to play the ukulele, which she learned at her previous school. I've been teaching her a few of the chords that I know, and this week she has been writing a song for her grandmother's funeral. The other day, she thanked me for creating this space for her to process her feelings through music. This moment made me think of the ways you have created similar spaces for me and for one another. One of the beautiful ways we create a supportive community is by opening space. Space to process emotions, space to develop our voices, space to celebrate, and space to be upheld. Another way we create a supportive community is by contributing financially. Please take a moment now to join me in giving to our beloved spiritual community and filling our virtual collection plate. You can give online by scanning the QR code in the order of service. Go to ascboston.org, text your gift, or Venmo at Arlington Street. If you're Zooming, you can mail a check to the church. If you're in person, please use the envelopes in the pews. The ushers will be coming through the sanctuary with collection plates. Thank you for your generosity.
Oh
Thank you, Hannah, Beck, and Yulia. That was beautiful. There are weekly gatherings in the Arlington Street Zoom room for loving kindness meditation, poetry, yoga, and writing. If you like to sing, the Arlington Street Choir welcomes you to come rehearse in person on Thursday evenings. No experience is necessary. Following today's service is our annual meeting. All are welcome, but you must have officially joined Arlington Street to vote. After the annual meeting, there's a luncheon to celebrate Reverend Kim's ministry. Here's Queen Cheryl to issue the formal invitation.
I got dressed up today. Before I issue your formal invitation, I want to read something that I found in the archives that I didn't donate to Harvard. It was written in 1989. It's short, Kim. It's entitled Shocking Changes. A new minister, a young minister, a flood of new members, somehow unlike the ones we know, strangers at coffee hour. We should not have to end our summer with such severe concerns. The loyal ASC members of 5, 10, 20 years or more should not have to go through all that turmoil. Fortunately, we shall not. Please join me in welcoming the intense and joyful senior minister, Kim Crawford Harvey. She brings her intellect, kindness, and passion to ASC. She brings a refreshing vision for both the spirit and the body of the church. She brings inherited, learned, and discovered UU principles. She does not bring 300 new members to metamorphose our congregation. Despite her strong, thoughtful presence in the national gay and lesbian community, she does not appeal to present or potential members with only one set of concerns. She does not even bring a desire to revolutionize ASC this month. Also, in her early 30s, Kim does not even qualify as a ministerial youngster when compared to the ages of such notables as William Ellery Channing begin here. The curious will come, will sit in your pew, and will make the sandwich line longer. Please join me in speaking to them and being willing to explain what makes our denomination and church different and better. Among that group will be some with talents, interest, and resources to ease some of our committee's loads and otherwise enrich ASC. Kim is not Victor, nor Farley, nor will she imitate either, yet how oddly fortunate we are in having a constant line of excellent ministers. We have come to expect the best, and we have it again. I didn't write that. Michael Ball, chairperson of the Prudential Committee, wrote that in 1989. Anyway, today we're celebrating Kim after 35 years. And I'd like to invite you to lunch. It's really good. I've been cooking for 2 days. We've got shrimp, we've got chicken wings, we've got macaroni and cheese. We're not going to run out of food. I'm going to channel my grandma for 1 minute. Please don't come into my kitchen. Don't come into the parish hall. I have water for you in the Perkins room if you'd like to sit down. That's just grandma, okay? Please respect her wishes, and please, after the meeting, please come down. You are all welcome, and I hope to see you. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Kim.
We will be here in the sanctuary for the meeting and downstairs in the parish hall for the party, as well as in the Zoom room for both. All are welcome. This Tuesday evening at 6:30, Reverend Kelly, our community minister for spiritual direction, will offer a Zoom gathering on forgiveness, practices, and human flourishing. Come to learn more about both, the barriers to and the benefits of forgiveness. Advanced materials are available from Jeff in the church office. You can write to him at office@ascboston.org. Every Wednesday at 4, Reverend Kim and Reverend Beth host a virtual tea party with a conversation prompt. This week's prompt is, what remains undone on your bucket list? For all these offerings, more information and Zoom room links are at ascboston.org. To attend any Zoom gatherings, you don't have to be a member. You don't have to turn on your video or talk if you don't want to, and they're all free. Following the service, everyone is welcome to join the virtual coffee hour. If you'd like to participate, join the Arlington Street Zoom room and answer yes to the breakout room invitation that will appear on your screen. If you're here in person following the service, we'll gather in the Honeywell Chapel for a live chat, coffee hour right through the leather door to the right of the pulpit. Thanks to all of you who joined in today's service and to all those who made it possible. Remember, we're all in this together.
Thanks, Rebecca. Our final hymn is Over My Head. It's number 30 in the gray hymnal. Its words are also printed in the order of service and in the chat. Although if you think you know this one or might be able to pick it up, it's a nice one to just leave those pieces of paper sitting down and have our eyes up and our energy all together. So I invite us to rise in body, rise in spirit. And to me, this is a song not about the existence of God, although that's fine. It's a song about the experience of magic in the world, the experience of delight. Over my head, I hear music in the air. There must be a God somewhere, or maybe there must be delight despite everything else. So let's sing together. We're going to start a little slow, and then we'll pick it up a little bit. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. There must be a God somewhere. A one, two, over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. Over my head, I hear music in the air. There must be a God somewhere. I hear singing over my head. I hear singing in the air. Over my head, I hear singing in the air. Up over my head, I hear singing in the air. There must be a God somewhere. I see trouble over my head. I see trouble in the air. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. Over my head, I see trouble in the air. There must be a God somewhere. I feel joy over my head. I feel joy in the air. Over my head, I feel joy, joy up in the air. Over my head, I feel joy in the air. There must be a God somewhere. I see angels over my head. I see angels in the air. Over my head, I see angels, angels in the air. Over my head, I see angels in the air. There must be a God somewhere. I feel peace over my head. I feel peace in the air. Over my head, I feel peace in the air. Over my head, I feel peace in the air. There must be a God somewhere. I feel love over my head. I feel love in the air. Over my head, I feel love in the air. Over my head, I feel love in the air. There must be a God somewhere. I give you
For our benediction, I invite those of you in the Zoom room to please reach out your hands and touch the sides of your Hollywood Square. And those of you in the sanctuary to please raise your hands, palms out, and let us send loving kindness. To the people to your left and to your right, send loving kindness to the person on either side of you, to the people on either side of them. Send out love into this beloved spiritual community and feel it coming back to you. Love is the spirit of this congregation. And now for our benediction, I invite you to put your hands over your heart in namaste. I bow to the divine in you. Adapted from American poet Jean Lohman. Stunned by the astonishing mix in this uneasy world that plunges in a single day from despair to hope and back again, may we commend our lives to Ruskin's difficult duty of delight and to that most beautiful form of courage, to be happy. Let us keep this faith, beloveds, and pass it on. The service begins when the service ends. Bless your hearts. I love you. Amen.
Your people
please visit ascboston.org for more information about this historic Unitarian Universalist congregation. Arlington Street Church, gathered in love and service for justice and peace.